All right, so these languages have English-like syntax. They are easy to remember and read. There are many like Java, Python, C++, etc. Commands are complex and broken down into a number of shorter instructions in machine language. So relationship between high level and low level languages one to many. वन टू मैनी का मतलब है कि एक हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज जो है वो बहुत सारी हाई लेवल लैंग्वेजेस के साथ बहुत सारी लो लेवल इंस्ट्रक्शंस के साथ बनती है. ठीक है, सो ये हो गया हाई लेवल एंड लो लेवल लैंग्वेजेस. Advantages include of high level languages is ease of reading, writing code, and low level is hard to read. Ease of debugging code, machine independence, direct manipulation of the hardware. So direct manipulation of the hardware means that you can use low level language to direct manipulate the hardware. Machine independence is basically when we write code in high level language, they are machine independent. ईज ऑफ डीबगिंग मतलब लो लेवल लैंग्वेज अगर आप यूज करेंगे तो आपको ऑब्वियसली डीबग करना उसको आसान नहीं होगा. सही है. सो understand that assembly language is a form of low level language that uses mnemonics that the assembler is needed to translate the program. This we have discussed. Describe the operation of compiler and interpreter. ये हमने इसमें कर लिया था. Compiler translate the whole program at once before executing it, producing an executable file. An interpreter translates the executable and execute the code line by line. A compiler provides an error report for the whole code. An interpreter stops execution when an error is found. Okay. So then comes IDE. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of compiler and interpreter. We have discussed those. IDE क्या होती है? IDE होती है ऐसी environment जिसके अंदर हम कोड लिखते हैं. उसके अंदर हमारे पास कोड एडिटर होता है जिसके अंदर हम कोड को टाइप कर सकते हैं. रन टाइम एनवायरनमेंट होती है कोड एडिटर के अंदर जो हमारे टाइप कोड को एग्जीक्यूट कर देती है. ट्रांसलेटर्स होते हैं, कंपाइलर, इंटरप्रेटर, ये सारे उसके अंदर. हम जिस वक्त कोड लिख रहे होते हैं तो बैकग्राउंड में इंटरप्रेटर जो हमारी हर लाइन को चेक कर रहा होता है और जब हम कोड को एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं तो कंपाइलर उसकी एग्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल बना के और फिर उसको जो है वो रन कर देता है. एरर डायग्नोस्टिक्स. देयर आर टूल्स व्हिच हेल्प अस टू कंप्लीट एरर डायग्नोस्टिक इन केस अगर हमारे पास कोई उसमें एरर्स होते हैं. ऑटो कंप्लीशन का मतलब है कि कुछ आप टाइप करते हैं, कुछ सिस्टम खुद टाइप कर लेता है और तेजी से काम आप कर सकते हैं. ऑटो करेक्शन का मतलब है कि समटाइम्स आप मिस स्पेल कर देते हैं या कुछ और थोड़ी छोटी छोटी गलतियां कर देते हैं. इसको सिस्टम खुद जो है वो डिटेक्ट कर लेता है तो आपके कोड को, आपकी राइटिंग को, आपकी स्पेलिंग को वो खुद ब खुद सही करता है. प्रिटी प्रिंट का मतलब ये होता है जब आप कोड लिखते हैं तो सिस्टम उसको इंडेंट भी खुद कर देता है, उसमें स्पेसिंग भी कर देता है, कलरिंग भी कर देता है, कमेंट्स ग्रीन कर देता है, स्ट्रिंग को रेड कर देता है, जितने भी कीवर्ड्स हैं सिस्टम के उनको ब्लू कर देता है. ये सारी इन्वायरमेंट आपके कोड एडिटर्स के अंदर नजर आ रही होती है. तो दीज आर द फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइडेड बाय इंटीग्रेटेड डेवलपमेंट एनवायरनमेंट. व्हाट इज इंटीग्रेटेड डेवलपमेंट एनवायरनमेंट? एक ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर जो किसी भी लैंग्वेज के लिए सारी फैसिलिटीज एक जगह पर अंडर वन विंडो आपको प्रोवाइड करता है और यू कैन यूज ऑल दोज फैसिलिटीज टू डेवलप robust programs. Now comes internet. All right. So ये करते हैं. Chapter 5. चैप्टर 5 और चैप्टर 6 हमारे लास्ट 2 चैप्टर्स हैं और इनमें से बहुत सारा मटेरियल ऐसा है which is never discussed before, which never appeared before. This is the first time that is appearing. So हमारे पास उसके पास पेपर के क्वेश्चंस जो होंगे वो नहीं होंगे. So शुरू करते हैं. अच्छा जी, तो पहला टॉपिक जो हम कर रहे हैं वो है वेब ब्राउजर्स का. All right, so a web browser is a software application that allows user to access and view web pages on the internet. The primary function of web browser is to interpret and render hypertext markup language and other web programming languages such as CSS, JavaScript to display web pages on a computer or mobile device. Apart from rendering HTML, a web browser performs various functions. Storing bookmarks and favorites, आप अपने bookmarks and favorites को यहाँ पर store कर सकते हैं. User can save their favorite websites as bookmarks. Recording user history, browser keeps a record of the user's browsing history, allowing them to revisit previously visited websites. Allowing the use of multiple tabs, you can open up multiple tabs for a different website. Every tab shows a different website. Storing cookies. Cookies are a small text file that website stores. So the browser helps allowing them to remember the preferences, login information, and other details. So browser helps. Providing navigation tools. Browser provides a variety of navigation tools such as back and forward button. Providing an address bar. The address bar allows user to enter the URL or the web address of the website. Okay, so this is the web browser. This is the stuff that you would have to actually remember, learn. Now, cookies. Cookies are a small text files that are created by websites and stored on the user's device, such as computer or mobile or laptop, by their web browser. They are used to store information about users' browsing behavior and on a particular website, such as login credentials, preferences, and shopping cart. There are two main types of cookies. Session cookies. Session is basically the duration for which you are attached to a website. तो जैसे ही आप उस वेबसाइट से लॉग आउट करते हैं या अपना टैब बंद करते हैं तो वो सेशन खत्म हो जाता है. तो जो कुकीज उस सेशन के दरमियान में क्रिएट होते हैं उनको हम कहते हैं सेशन कुकीज. सेशन कुकीज आर टेम्पररी and are only stored on the user device while they are actively browsing a website. They are typically used to remember the information about the user's session, such as login credential, preferences, or other. So as soon as you closes the web browser, the session cookie is deleted. Then comes persistent cookies. Persistent cookies are the same as the name suggests, are stored on the user device even after they close the web browser and the website. They are used to remember user preferences settings for future visits to the website. All right, so cookies are used for a variety of purposes: saving personal details, tracking users' preferences, holding items in an online shopping cart, storing login details for the future use and all. Then comes the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web. You see, World Wide Web is the infrastructure that provides the whole internet's workability, whereas the World Wide Web is only the way um, which basically shows you websites and all. So the internet is a global network of interconnected computer networks. It consists of hardware infrastructure such as servers, routers, cable that allow the computer to communicate with each other across the world. Okay, the internet enables many types of communications and information exchanging, including email, messaging, online gaming, video conferencing, and more. The World Wide Web, on the other hand, is the system of interlinked hypertext documents. Hypertext documents are basically web pages accessed via the internet. The web consists of web pages, websites, and web applications which are accessed using the web browser. It is a platform for sharing information, communicating, and conducting transactions such and has revolutionized the way we access the internet. So basically, web browser is such a big thing. People use so massively that most of the people think that web browser is the internet. Although it is just a service running on internet. Then comes, this is something very important. It is basically how web pages are retrieved. So this is something new, and this is very important from exams point of view. When a user enters a URL, into the web browser, several steps are involved in locating, retrieving, and displaying the web pages on the device. Here's a simplified step-by-step process. The web browser first checks if the website is present in the cache. If it is in the cache, it just turns it up from the cache, which is faster than retrieving the page from the internet. If the web page is not in the cache is basically every time you visit a website, all the static content of the website is basically saved over your local hard disk. So that is that area of the hard disk where the website's content is saved is called cache. If the web page is not in the cache, the web browser sends a request to the domain name server to translate the domain name in the URL to its IP address. We humans tend to remember names. Computer tend to remember IP addresses, numbers. So this domain name server thing is basically the software at ISP, which works like a phone book. So whenever you give it a URL, it actually finds and returns and turns up the IP address of it. The DNS server then searches for the IP address associated with the domain name in its database and returns the IP address to the web browser. The web browser then sends a request to the web server specified by the IP address to retrieve the web page. The web server receives the request and sends the web page back to the web browser as a series of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is the usual stuff which browser only understand. CSS is the language which basically is used for the aesthetics of the page. JavaScript is basically the language that is used for interactivity. The web browser interprets the HTML file and renders the web page on the device screen, जो हमें फिर नजर आना शुरू हो जाता है. तो ये याद रखें कि जब डाटा हम भेजते या रिसीव करते हैं तो वो HTML की फॉर्म में होता है. वेब ब्राउजर इज बेसिकली लाइक एन इंटरप्रेटर. वो उसको पढ़ता है, उसको रेंडर करता है स्क्रीन के ऊपर. अच्छा, अब आ जाते हैं हम URL के ऊपर. A uniform resource locator is a web address used to locate a specific resource on the internet. A URL consists of several components including protocol. अब आप देखें एक किसी भी वेब एड्रेस, जैसे ये एक वेब एड्रेस है, इसके शुरू में HTTP लगा होगा या HTTPS लगा होगा, तो दिस इज कॉल्ड प्रोटोकॉल. फिर आ जाएगा जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ zaconweb.com, so this is domain name. एंड देन पाथ. इस डोमेन पे इस तरीके से हमारे पास डायरेक्टरीज होती हैं, किसी भी डोमेन में भी डायरेक्टरीज हो सकती हैं, उसको हम कहते हैं पाथ. अब फिर अल्टीमेटली जो फाइल है उसको हम कहते हैं कि ये हमारी रिसोर्स है, the file that is accessed. So this is complete formation of URL. अच्छा, अब देखें HTTP और HTTPS. HTTP वो प्रोटोकॉल है जो पूरे इंटरनेट के ऊपर हमें डेटा को एक्सचेंज करने में मदद देता है, यानी कि आप समझ लें कि इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ मदर प्रोटोकॉल. सो अगर हमें डेटा सेंड और रिसीव करते हुए एनक्रिप्ट करके सिक्योर करके करना है तो HTTPS है, और अगर नहीं करना तो वो HTTP है. Hypertext Transfer Protocol and Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure are two protocols used for transferring data over the internet. सारे इंटरनेट के ऊपर HTTP और HTTPS से डेटा ट्रांसफर होता है. HTTP is a function of data communication on World Wide Web, and it defines the rules for how the browser and the web server communicate with each other. When you visit a website using HTTP, your web browser sends a request to the web server, and the server responds with the requested data, such as web page or a file. However, HTTP is not secure. The data transferred using HTTP is vulnerable to interception and tampering by hackers. To address this issue, HTTPS was developed as more secure version of HTTP. HTTPS adds a layer of security by using SSL or TLS encryption, making it more difficult for attackers to intercept and access. So this is basically the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. साइबर सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट्स, ये हम पढ़ चुके हैं. अब हम आ जाते हैं डिजिटल करेंसी के ऊपर. डिजिटल करेंसी जो है, ये फाइल्स मैंने आपसे शेयर करी है, इसमें मैंने कुछ अपनी तरफ से बना के क्वेश्चंस नीचे डाले हुए, तो ये क्वेश्चंस आपको हेल्प करेंगे प्रिपेयर करने के लिए, बिकॉज 90% ऑफ दीज टॉपिक्स आर बेसिकली न्यू. So a digital currency is a type of currency that only exists in the digital form and uses encryption techniques to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds. Digital currencies operate independently of any central bank or government and are often decentralized, meaning they are not controlled by any single entity. The most well-known digital currency is Bitcoin, but there are many others, including Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. These currencies can be used to purchase goods and services, to transfer funds to other individuals or businesses, or to trade on cryptocurrency exchanges. Digital currencies are stored in digital wallets, which can be accessed using a private key. Transactions are verified and recorded on a distributed ledger known as blockchain. Blockchain का question other than digital currency भी आ सकता है, which provides a transparent and secure way to track the movement of funds. Because digital currencies operate independently of banks and government, they can be used for peer-to-peer transactions without the need for intermediaries. All right. अब हम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं ब्लॉकचेन. ब्लॉकचेन क्या होता है? एक सॉफ्टवेयर है, डिजिटल लेजर है, और इसमें क्या होता है कि a blockchain is a time-stamped series of records or blocks that are linked together using cryptography, forming a chain of blocks. Each block contains a unique code called hash, which is created by processing the data in the block through the mathematical algorithm. The hash of each block is used to link it to the previous block in the chain, creating a chronological order of transactions. Once a block is added to the blockchain, it cannot be altered or deleted, making it an immutable, means which cannot be changed, record of all the transactions that have been taken place. This creates a high level of security and transparency, as all participants in the blockchain network can see the same information and verify the accuracy. So it is not just one, all can see them. In case of digital currency transaction, each block in the blockchain represents a series of transactions which are verified by the network of nodes in the blockchain network. When new transaction is added to the network, it is verified and processed by multiple nodes, and once it is confirmed, it is added to the new block in the chain. So no one can deny it. Blockchain is the most authentic software ever built for digital transactions. अच्छा, अब आ जाएं automated systems के ऊपर. Automated system is basically the same as we discussed in classes about monitoring and control. So number one, sensors, microprocessors, and actuators in automatic system. Sensors are devices that detect and measure physical properties or quantities. Or quantities, convert properties into electric signals. Example, temperature sensors in a smart thermostat system. Microprocessor, it is the brain of automated system. Process and analyze data from sensors, make decisions based on input data and programmed instructions. A microprocessor in a smart thermostat system that analyzes temperature data and determines whether to heat or cool the room. Actuators, ये आखिरी डिवाइस होती है जिसके जरिए सारा काम होता है. Devices that convert electric signals into mechanical motions or other actions. These are actuators. Carry out commands sent by the microprocessor. An actuator in a smart thermostat system that adjusts the havoc. Havoc is heated, ventilated air conditioning system based on the microprocessor's commands. All right. So हमारे पास एक्चुएटर्स में valves भी आ रहे हैं, हमारे पास एक्चुएटर्स में compressors भी आ रहे हैं, brakes भी आ रहे हैं, and there are so many things जो कि हमारे पास एक्चुएटर्स में आ रही हैं. Then comes robotics. Robotics जो है वो automated system की advanced form है. Understand what is meant by robotics. Robotics is a multidisciplinary field that combines computer science, engineering, and technology to design, build, program, and control robots. Robots are machines capable of carrying out series of tasks or actions, often autonomously or semi-autonomously by following instructions from a computer program. For example, an assembly line robot in a car manufacturing plant is programmed to perform a specific task such as welding, painting, and with high precision and speed. Describe characteristics of robots. A robot typically has the following characteristics: a mechanical structure or frameworks that allow it to interact with the environment, electrical components such as sensors, microprocessors, and actuators that enable movement and interaction. They are programmable, meaning its behavior can be changed, often capable of sensing and responding to its environment, can operate autonomously or semi-autonomously or under human supervision. All right. Then comes the last part, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is pretty much important. And you should understand it thoroughly. So artificial intelligence, understanding artificial intelligence is a subfield of computer science focused on creating systems and machines that can perform tasks typically require human intelligence. This includes problem solving, learning, understanding natural language, recognizing patterns, and making decisions. AI systems uses algorithm, models, and data to simulate the intelligent behavior observed in humans. अब उसकी main characteristics of AI क्या हो सकती हैं? Collection of data. AI system collects and process large amount of data, which is then used to make up decision and predictions. Rules for using the data. AI system employs algorithms and rules to determine how the data will be processed, analyzed, and used. Reasoning. AI systems can perform logical reasoning and making decisions based on the available information. Learning and adaptation. So these are the main characteristics. Basic operations and components of AI system. There are two. First one is expert system. The other one is machine learning system. So expert system में क्या होता है? Expert system के चार parts होते हैं. एक होता है knowledge base. जितने भी facts हैं, expert system जो है वो एक specific area में काम करता है, limited field के अंदर काम करता है. हर चीज को नहीं समझता, सिर्फ एक एरिया में काम करेगा. ठीक है. जबकि मशीन लर्निंग किसी भी एरिया में काम कर सकती है. Expert systems are AI programs designed to simulate the decision-making capabilities of human experts in a specific domain. They consist of following components: knowledge base, a database containing all the facts; rule-based, a collection of all the rules applied over the data; inference engine, this is the software that applies the rules over the data to conclude and make decisions and show you. Interface, so this is the interface that is used by inference engine to interact with the expert system, inputting data and retrieving recommendations or solutions. Machine learning, on the other hand, is basically a subset of AI that enables programs to learn and improve their performance based on the data they process. The basic component of machine learning include training data, a data set used to train the machine learning algorithm. ये बहुत सारा data जमा करते हैं. वैसे आजकल के modern AI systems जो हैं, they are trained on over more than 1000 billion words. So data is huge. Algorithm, the mathematical model or technique used to process the training data. Evaluation to solve and understand it. The process of measuring the performance of the machine learning algorithm, typically by comparing its prediction with the known outcome. Adaptation, the ability of machine learning algorithm to adjust its parameters and improve its performance. So in summary, AI is a branch of computer science that aims to create systems that can perform tasks requiring human intelligence. It is characterized by the collection and processing of the data, the application of the rules, reasoning, and the ability to learn and adapt. Expert system and machine learning are two key approaches to simulating intelligent behavior in AI system. So this is what it is. We have completed. अब आप जो हैं वो आपको मैंने I have transferred whatever the thing that I have shown. I have transferred all the past paper, topical past papers, all the notes, whatever notes I typed, सब कुछ मैंने आपको भेज दिया है. Now try your best and do appear mock tomorrow.